Kabik.
So I'm 5'3", because anything more would be a sin. I can't remember if it was my own resolution to do this or if it was something my mother told me I had to do. But as soon as the last little flake from the blizzard of 1996 fell in Hummelstown, I was walking to James's house to invite him to go sledding. Oh God. So my neighborhood had like a really tight-knit group of kids that would roll around together. There were 5 of us, and James wasn't one of them. He was lanky and ill-shaped. He was amazingly pale, and we only saw him when we were riding our bikes past his house, which never had a lawn that was mowed, and we'd see his eyes through the windows and then duck away. So we made the natural conclusion that he was a vampire, and we were all generally horrified of him, but for some reason I had this idea, this resolution, that I would incorporate him into the group. And the blizzard was a perfect time for this. So I went to his creepy house, and I knocked on his creepy door, and his mother, who, I'm not going to say creepy, because that's mean. She's probably a single mother working really hard, supporting this creepy kid. But pretty creepy. Answers the door, and she knows why I'm there, which is why I think vampire, or maybe my mom coordinated it. And James comes out, and he looks, more normal than what I could have hoped for, except he's got this weird hat on. Like the ones that we wear now as hipsters, the big Russian fur hats, which, brilliant, but at the time didn't work. And so he comes out in that, and I think, oh God, it's not gonna work. And the problem with that, it's fine. If he wants to be what he is, a vampire, in my neighborhood, that's fine. But if I'm gonna show up to my friends with this guy and he looks like this, I'm gonna go down in the totem pole of who you can pick on, and I will be the guy that is now picked on in the group, which normally I floated around with next to Marshall, who had, the day before, cried himself to sleep, and his brother told us, so he was lower. And I didn't want to lose that opportunity. So we leave, and he has this dumb hat on, and we get away from eye shot of his house, and he takes off the hat, and he hides it in a bush, and I think, oh my God, he knows, perfect. And I want to prep him for what he's going to experience, but I don't know how to talk to him because I'm a kid, and I'm scared of him because vampire. So we get to the sledding hill where all of the other kids are already waiting, and I want you to imagine basically like hyenas who haven't eaten. And that's what you have with kids who have been trapped in their homes with their parents because of this blizzard and who have just been consuming sugar. Like they're shaking, they're vibrating, there's so much going on that they want to damage. And there's this poor kid and me, and I'm nervous, and I tell James, I'm like, just don't do anything creepy, James. And he says, and even then, he had this really low, concerning voice. And he said, no, I'm not gonna do anything at all. And I was like, okay, that's creepy. This is what I'm talking about, James. But we meet up with them, and we start sledding, and he's, for some reason, everybody had those really thick boards, like the snowboards, like the really thick ones, the black ones that nobody ever used outside of 1997. And he's awesome at it. I guess that's what he was doing in that room, was practicing on his pillows. But he's great at it. And so, he immediately fits in. He's immediately above me, which is okay, I guess, because I'm kind of riding his coattails, his creepy coattails, hoping. I'm looking at Marty, I'm like, you're still in trouble, bud. But, so I move up a little bit. And we have stolen a cigarette from one of our parents, and we're passing it around, because, we're 12. So, and we offer it to him. We're like, hey, man. And this is huge. You don't, as the first person in the group, the newest guy, you don't get this. And we offer it to him. And he says, no, I want to see if I can do this on my hands. And somehow that made him cooler, that he didn't want to smoke the cigarette, but he was going to try to snowboard on his hands, which he failed. But still, and he's at the bottom of the hill, and we're at the top of the hill, and I'm thinking, oh God, it's going to work. It's working. I've introduced this guy. I've followed through my resolution. This poor kid who hasn't had any friends in our neighborhood for years is not going to be part of our group. We're going to invite him out. We're going to go snowboarding. We're going to burn stuff together, or whatever we did as kids. And a snowball fight erupts, which is like the best possible thing. You're totally in. You're totally in. And I'm like excited, and we're throwing balls down there, snowballs, and James is down there, and he's down there with Nick, and then there's 3 of us up top, and it's so easy to throw the snowballs, and I'm so excited, and I grind one up, and I throw it as hard as I can, and it heads right to his face. And I say, "Oh God, no," and it hits him right in the face, and this innocent, I just accomplished my dream white turns into this horrible red. And it's blood everywhere, and James goes from smiling to back to the vampirish face, and he walks past us up the hill, and he walks past through the sledding slopes, and he walks all the way home, and the snow melts, and we never see him again.